It feels like they went a little bit too much for the low-hanging fruit.
Okay. I did wonder that with the Bonneville quote at the end there. I want this dick in my hand immediately, which I should not have said out loud because actually that is snippable.
Yes, it is.
We are going to have a look at some of the productions that have come out. Now, some of these are quite enjoyable, and others of them are utterly ridiculous. We will start with the laughable but enjoyable, which is the Dick Turpin trailer, which I believe is it Sky TV or Apple TV that's doing this?
It's Apple TV over here. I don't know what it is in the UK.
Okay.
Yeah, we can watch the trailer. I should say I've seen the first episode of this, so I can provide a detailed opinion.
Okay, so all I've seen is the trailer, which is really quite funny. I mean, the challenge I have is I keep wanting to call this the Dick Whittington trailer, which says a lot about how many pantomimes I went to as a child. Please, folks, no jokes about how the best years of my life are rather like a pantomime in that they are behind me. But I mean, I do have a bit of an issue with the whole Dick Whittington thing in that what moron decided to pretend that the streets of London... I know I'm having an aneurysm here and I don't even care. What moron decided to pretend that the streets of London were paved with gold? Because the only covering on offer when you visit London, quite frankly, is a layer of soot on the inside of your lungs from all of the pollution. Now, I do get that it's like a parable about like expectation management and the grass always being greener. But even so, just pick somewhere a little bit nicer when it comes to dirt and grime, like Boston Harbour, judging by what Luke has just said. There are better places that you could have picked. But yes, this is the Dick Turpin, not the Dick Whittington trailer, which is available through Apple TV. Let's take a look.
I know what you're thinking. Who is this guy with the incredible cheekbones? Where does he get his hair done? One day, I'll be the most famous highwayman in all of England.
You are literally about to be hanged, you idiot!
Quick note to my gang. If you were planning a rescue, now would be a good time.
You've probably heard of me. Dick Turpin, new leader of the Essex gang.
Highwayman murder and rob. You're not Highwayman Dick.
I've got this. We strike on 3. 1, 2. We'll get the next one.
I've seen you prancing around in your funny shirt.
I'm new school, and there's going to be less violence on my watch. Is there anything that I could have done to improve your highway robbery experience?
But we're just as tough as any other gang in here.
Here's your peppermint tea, Dick. Put a splash of honey in it. I know you got a scratchy throat.
Thanks, little carrot.
There's only one man brainless enough to steal from the syndicate.
Thank you, Dick. I don't know what we'd do without you.
Gonna be famous.
Dick Turpin!
Dick Turpin.
Dick Turpin.
Dick Turpin.
Dick Turpin.
I want this dick in my hands as soon as possible.
That sounds weird.
Yeah, that did sound a bit weird, sorry.
So there you have it, the Dick Turpin trailer. Looking funny, but why does this win? I promised that I wouldn't. Well, no, I didn't actually promise that I wouldn't go down the Napoleon movie route, did I? But, I'm going to cover the Napoleon movie just tangentially. Yes, stop rolling your eyes, man. In that, this works because it's not taking itself too seriously. It even says, this is made up. And it's fine because of that. It's not about the historical accuracy. I've just discovered that actually the streaming platform seems to do a thumbs up thing when I do a thumbs up. That's very odd. Luke is now trialing this himself without the same results, which perhaps indicates that the streaming platform doesn't like you, assistant producer. It prefers me.
So it is. So it will be.
But mind you, I'm the one who pays the bill for it, so it probably is like contractually obliged to like me more. Yeah, it's not taking itself too seriously. That's good in my book, and that gives you more latitude to play around with the concept, right? And in doing so, what it means is it completely disarms anybody who's going to start going, oh, well, that's not historically. No, of course it's not historically accurate. You can see it's a comedy. You know, and I think this is the point, that actually everybody going, oh, you historians, you don't understand the concept of entertainment. No, hang on. We absolutely do. It's just about how you choose to frame it and the difference in genre. And because of the acknowledgement of that difference, actually, you're going to get a much more positive response out of people like me, for one, because it looks good. The costumes, I'm sure the costumes aren't like historically accurate, but who cares? The costumes look good. You get this nice kind of flavor of the period. You've got some very high-profile individuals there. Hugh Bonneville starring. I don't know the context. So, you know, it's got some good people behind it. But you've seen episode 1, so tell us more.
Yeah, no, I mean, the cast is incredible. Hugh Bonneville plays the thief-taker general, basically. And, you know, Fielding plays Dick Turpin himself. And you're right, it doesn't take itself seriously. And in fact, the sort of overall framing narrative is that he's telling his story, but what we're seeing on stage, on screen, is being run not through what he's saying, but he's saying through the mind and pen of a true crime author who is interviewing him and jotting all this down and inflating everything. My problem with this, and it will to a certain extent undercut everything Zack has just said, is that yes, the talent is incredible. You've got half the team behind Horrible Histories and the Paddington series guest starring in this one way or another. The jokes almost all rely on that old trope of, oh, the people in the past are different, so if we put together things that are current with that, it's going to be funny. It's that amusing juxtaposition, and I'm using in scare quotes, of modern ideas / tropes with the period. Now, to a certain extent, that works great. Like the true crime author is as a framing device is a hilarious touch. But like, you know, Fielding's Turpin is a vegan, and that's why doesn't want to be a butcher. You know, it's sort of that it's back and forth, and while yes, like the costumes some of them are fine, the soldiers and the nobles are decent, everyday people look good. Like there's a joke in there about how he dresses one of his gang members in pleather, and he explains it like it's plastic leather, it looks good, it's shiny, it wipes clean, and you're just like, there's better options here, guys. You know, it feels like they went a little bit too much for the low-hanging fruit.
Okay. I did wonder that with the Bonneville quote at the end there, I want this dick in my hand immediately, which I should not have said out loud, because actually that is snippable. And,
yes, it is.
And that's a dangerous precedent that I've just said. And of course, I've compounded that by drawing our viewers' attention to the fact that that is snippable. Which was not the smartest of moves. But yeah, I did have a slight...
There's a terrible circumcision joke in there.
Look, you were meant to raise the quality of this show.
Oh, shit. Sorry, I misread my contract. Yeah, and honestly, look, British comedy has made some of the greatest things of all time based on dick jokes, right? There's that entire bit in Blackadder the Fourth with Rick Mayall as the Baron von Richthofen about how lucky the English are to find the toilet so amusing. For us, it is a mundane and functional item. For you, the basis of an entire culture. And Blackadder is a work of genius, right? Again, something every historian will agree on. It's just what I wanted this to be was Our Flag Means Death. And it's not. It's not quite there, and it's disappointing. And while the talent carries it, I think I'd rather just watch Fielding host Bake Off.
Okay. Okay. So that's fair. So promises more than it actually delivers, I guess.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair. Look, if you want,
I had
if you
that
want,
actually with Good Omens. I don't know if which caused a lot of controversy over in the States, of course, in the Bible Belt. But I felt vast potential, and yet some of the jokes were just a kind of a tad obvious, and kind of that low hanging fruit that you may, I mean, you may disagree, but that was my kind of feel, to the point where I haven't seen Good Omens 2. And actually, it was kind of carried by it's Michael Sheen, isn't it, and David Tennant.
Michael Sheen and David Tennant. Look, Good Omens is a truly charming romantic comedy between the two of them. That's what it is, and that's how you have to watch it. And if you watch it with that in mind, it becomes something relatively special. But yeah, I mean, look, if you read the book, just read the book, and then read everything else that Terry Pratchett has ever written. Sorry, I'm biased here. But yeah, it's just, if you're in the mood for something silly, if you wanna have some fun, you know, there is a good moment where one of the gang is trying to shoot a rope and fires, and the musket ball instead kills a pigeon above the rope that falls to the ground, and everyone sort of stares at it. And there's just this moment of, yeah, they do that sometimes. You're like, yeah, okay, fair enough. Someone actually understands that sometimes these things are not the most accurate. But look, if you want something pseudo in this period, admittedly a little bit later, that is absolutely hilarious, just watch Blackadder the Third.